Welcome to my channel. I am the Polax. I'm back again with another narrated gameplay video, and probably my last Chivalry video for a while. To be honest, I haven't felt the love that I used to with this game for quite some time, but it's really the only active game in the genre right now, so I've kind of been forcing myself to play it just to get my fix. However, the Fiefdom Alpha begins in less than a week, and I am really looking forward to it, and I'm already planning out a bunch of content for when that finally drops. If people do want to see more Chivalry content, I'm open to doing that, but it just feels like I got into the content game too late to do anything but walk down a path people have already done to death. For now though, we'll sit back and enjoy some educational commentary one last time before I get my hooks into Fiefdom. Note the target switch here, using the right side slash and minding my attack directions. I will hammer on this point as much as I need to because it really is super important to be aware of in 1vx and teamfight. The direction you attack from, especially when it comes to slashes, can really, honest to God, make the difference between life and death in this game. Also, fuck people who do this. Do not put barricades, and especially don't put spikes behind your teammates. And this is doubly true when you're in the middle of a successful push. This is absolutely maddening to me, and I will break your shit every single time. Don't do it. When you're coming up the gatehouse on this map, it really pays to be aware of enemy spawns, and you can notice how I'm not rushing straight to the objective because I'm waiting to see if the enemy spawn is coming. If they had been there, I'd have absolutely left and rotated around the other side. But you can see that I'm checking to make sure my team is coming with me, and I'm not just overextending into the enemy line to die alone. This is something I see people complain about a lot, like, oh, where's my team? You ran out ahead of your team is usually the answer, so it pays to pay attention and make sure that you're not doing that. You have to move with your team. We also have a really decent 1vx fight going on here, and notice how despite target swapping repeatedly, I also make sure to hit the longsword guy, because I can tell he's just spamming attacks into me and not really paying attention to defending himself. It seems counterintuitive, but it really pays to be defensive when you're ganking people, because spamming attacks like this just gives me free riposte encounters all day long, and I can use those to beat up your teammates. It's a lot harder to hit people who are ganking you if they're waiting for the counter or the riposte. Though, of course, once I've swept everything up, the very last guy on the walls is going to sneak one in on me. If I'd paid more attention, I could have probably avoided this death by not comboing after I killed the last guy, but he hit me in recovery, and sometimes it just is what it is. I just want to quickly point out that for most of the second convoy push, except for the end, I'm fighting around the side and focusing more on isolated targets and small group fights. This is one of those things about knowing your role, because poleaxe is not a great frontlining weapon, but it does excel in these smaller engagements, so I tend to focus on picking those fights over getting stuck in at the objective itself. That is a task better suited to weapons like the war axe or the messer. Your weapon's capabilities are a big part of determining which fights to pick and which ones to avoid.
like so many wild.
This is honestly not my best work. My positioning, timing, and decision-making is just not on point here, and I frankly just got lucky more than anything else because two of my opponents decided to step back. They probably stepped back because they saw my teammates coming to help me, which was smart on their part. And despite this, I decided to engage a second time with almost no health left instead of stepping away to heal, which is really never a good idea. But sometimes luck is all you need to get through a bad play, and if it works out in the end, I tend not to care about how it happened. Still, just because you survived a situation doesn't mean you can't learn from what you did wrong and try to adjust. Being able to do this in real time is a really valuable skill, and we'll see it here just a bit later. Following up from my last point, I was fully ready to take another engagement with low health, but I stopped and reconsidered after how close things got the last time. So instead, I chose to turn around and catch a heal, though obviously I ended up getting cucked out of my horn, but this really is what I mean about learning to adapt. I was about to make the same mistake as before and probably get killed, and I managed to stop, think about it, and make a better decision before I got into my next fight.
Keep it up! We've nearly destroyed the barricades!
I'm gonna be totally honest, this death is pure chivalry jank bullshit. I have absolutely no idea how I got hit stopped on a teammate to my right without managing to hit the dude directly in front of me. This is the kind of thing where you have to accept it's just not a terribly well-built game and try to move on. But it really is frustrating to deal with shit like this. As I transition to the battlefield, which is one of my favorite objectives in the entire game, I just want to point out that it is always a good idea to stick to the left side. Or if you're playing on Agatha, it's the right side. Either way, the reason for this is because the Agatha catapult is usually shooting rocks on the other side. So if you're playing Agatha yourself, that's a really good way to get team killed, and if you're playing Mason, it's a really good way to get just regular killed, I guess. But regardless, it's easier to just stick to the left and not have to worry about that catapult in the first place. To be honest, with a game going this strongly in my team's favor, I probably didn't need to attack the catapult, but it's a good habit to have because a good cata player can do a lot of damage on this objective, and it's generally smart to try and keep it shut down as much as possible. Something I think that is a little bit underrated is that you should sort of have a game plan for every objective and you should stick to it. Even if it's not necessary, it's just good to make a habit of it, so that when it is necessary, you never forget to do it. Also notice that I don't have any interest in sticking around after the kata is broken, because it's tucked right up near an Agatha spawn point, and sticking around is just asking to get swarmed by half the enemy team shortly after.
The gate is nearly destroyed! Masons, we have destroyed the gate! Kill the traitorous Duke of Ulrich!
This is a reminder to pay attention to your sound cues. I heard that catapult shot and I immediately knew that it was going to land right on top of me if I went into the gate. So instead, I simply turned around to let it blow up my teammates rather than taking me with it. This is something that comes back to basic game sense and just paying attention to what's happening around you and knowing where people like to land their kata shots. And this obviously brings us to a victorious finish. All in all, a pretty good match, not at all perfect, and I made plenty of mistakes, but that's only human. All we can do is learn from them, or at least accept them as the cost of having fun. Ultimately, I do place more value on having fun and being entertained than on perfect gameplay, and in that sense, I'm pretty happy with this match. I hope my viewers enjoyed the commentary, and I will catch you all on the flip side once Fiefdom comes out.